need to pinch more time, Gary?
We're good.
Oh, you're good? Wow, that was fast. Okay. Tim, you're good too, right?
So
Okay.
when we get to additions to the agenda, I'll just say that we're going to do that, or?
Let's call the Center County Board of Commissioners meeting to order at 10:01. All those who are able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, do we have any public comment for items not appearing on today's agenda? All right, seeing none. For additions to the agenda, I think we do have a minor change.
Okay, I'm going to move that we, under Human Services, amend the action from adding item B under Human Services to the next week's consent agenda to that we will approve it at this meeting.
There's a timeliness issue that we
Yeah.
need to be mindful of. Okay, and I will second that.
All right, we have a motion, a second, to change item B under Human Services to immediate approval instead of moving it to the consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, pose nay. Motion carries. All right, moving on to the meeting minutes. Everybody okay with those? All right, we'll take a motion then.
I'll move to approve the minutes from the meetings held July 2nd.
I will second that.
We have a motion, a second, to approve the minutes from the meetings held on July 2nd. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, pose nay, motion carries. All right, now we'll move on to bids and proposals. I believe Jonathan has a Center County Courthouse building envelope upgrade RFP for us.
Morning. I'm asking for your consideration to enter into contract negotiations with TMG Builders out of Bellefonte for the Center County Courthouse building envelope upgrades. These include the front step repair at the monument, repairing the granite steps in front of the courthouse, repairing mortar joints, window caulking, door caulking, things of that nature. This seals up the building to make it watertight. We've currently had some water infiltration issues.
All right, well, thanks for bringing that to our attention, Jonathan, when you are operating the oldest courthouse in the state, pushing 190 years old for some of the foundation work. Things will happen, and obviously, that's a large building. We just don't have quite enough staff to be able to, or expertise,
Right.
to cover all the items on that request for proposal. Any questions or comments, Commissioner Concepcion? Commissioner Dershowitz?
No,
Okay.
glad we can keep it local.
You got to keep it watertight and airtight when possible.
And I will move that we enter into contract review for various building envelope upgrades to the Center County Courthouse.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, pose nay. Motion carries. Great, well, thank you. I think you have another couple items for us, John.
Yep. So they are both at the Center County Correctional Facility. The first one, I am asking for your approval to move to next week's consent agenda, entering into a contract with Gordian Platform. S.J. Thomas will be the contractor to replace the roof at the facility. The current roof is original to the facility. The new roof will have a 25-year warranty with the lightning protection. It will be a TPO system, which will also add 1 inch of insulation to the facility that will add energy efficiency as well. It also increases the millage from 60 mils to 80 mils, which will aid with punctures, rips, tears, wind damage, things of that nature. After this time, that roof could then be coated to gain an additional warranty.
Thanks, Jonathan, and I know you did an in-depth analysis on this, and the Gordian platform meets all the county's requirements for projects of this size. I believe you also mentioned that with this particular system, due to the buildup in insulation, it will also improve the drainage at
Correct.
the facility.
Yes, with adding the 1 inch foam board insulation, we are able to contour that however needed to be able to drain water off as necessary. Currently, that roof does pond in several areas, so that will gain all of the water drainage that's necessary to aid in the roof's expected life.
And as a member, in your estimation, and also several experts you've spoken with, we're kind of in a window here where if we don't take care of this in the next year or two, we might have to go all the way to a complete tear-off, and that would be substantially more money.
Correct. The existing EPDM roof currently has over 20 patches that have happened in the last 3 months. Our staff, almost every rainstorm, gets called in for an existing roof leak, whether it's a new patch that opens up or if it's one that we've patched in the past that we have to readdress. So if we wait much longer, it's going to be to the point where we have to completely remove the roof and start over.
Great. Yeah, I just wanted the folks at home to know that we've been working on this for a while, and we've put it off pretty much about as long as we can. And this particular option will have the lowest long-term cost to
Correct.
continue maintaining that facility.
Correct.
And this is done through CoStars, correct?
Similar, Gordian system is very similar to CoStarz.
Correct, yeah. Gordian is a cooperative purchasing agreement, so it's similar to CoStars and Sourcewell.
So it kicks us out of the RCO requirements.
It does kick us out of the RCO, however, the contractor does meet the RCO. So we're good both ways.
Okay.
Just to reiterate,
Yeah.
the RCO is designed around projects that the county bids.
Yes.
And projects that are greater than 250,000. So through the Gordian platform, it is a CoStars-esque type environment of procuring, and it is not a bid situation, so the RCO does not apply.
And we've gotten legal
Yes,
advice to that
yes.
account, okay.
But this company said they meet those.
Correct, they do meet the RCO requirements.
Either way.
So we're,
Okay.
either way, we're covered.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
Commissioner Concepcion, any comments or questions?
No, it seems like we're just at a point where this needs to get done, and this is the most cost-effective way to do it.
Great. All right. Well, Jonathan, why don't you move forward with our second item, and we'll approve them both at the same time.
Yep, the second item is for the radiator replacement of the generator at the correctional facility. As our contractor was in doing preventative maintenance work, they noticed that the radiator is leaking. Currently, it's not to the point where it's going to cause damage to any other parts. However, if we let it go any longer, it could cause significant engine damage. So we're looking to add to next week's consent agenda to replace the radiator on that generator.
And as a member, Jonathan, same thing. It's original equipment.
Correct.
20-plus years old at this point.
Yes.
All right. Commissioner Concepcion, comments or questions on that one?
Sounds good.
Commissioner Dershowitz? All right. We'll take a motion for both items then.
Then I'll move to add the capital project items 1 and 2 to next week's consent agenda.
I will second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the two capital project items to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay, motion carries. Great, thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and now Julia has an item for Human Services that we have that slight alteration on.
Good morning. I'm asking same-day approval for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of Human Services Bureau of Financial Operations Early Intervention County Report for the fiscal year of 22-23 for the period of July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023. This is a yearly report that we submit to the Bureau of Financial Operations. To give you some perspective, in 2022-23 fiscal year, we received 272 referrals to the early intervention program, and in the fiscal year that just ended, 23-24, we received 291 referrals. So seeing a slight increase on the number of referrals.
Great, and thanks to county staff for preparing that report in 9 days with a major holiday in the middle there.
Yes.
Thanks to them for that. Comments or questions, Commissioner
Yeah,
Concepcion?
Thanks for being on top of it.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
Oh, good.
All right, so I think we could take the motion, just make sure we word it the way they need it.
I will move that we approve the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania DHS Bureau of Financial Operations Early Intervention County Report for the fiscal year 2022-2023.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Early Intervention County Report for the last state fiscal year and approving it today. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks, Julia. We have kind of a smallish consent agenda. Unless there's anything on that, I think we could take a motion.
I'll move to approve this week's consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve this week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. The consent agenda is approved. Moving on to our authorities, boards, and commissions. We have an appointment of Carrie Weitzel from July 1st of this year till June 30th of 2027. And Christine Kaufman is reappointed to the MHID Advisory Board for the same term. And we would like to thank Tim Durstein and Gregory, I believe it's Gartner? Both of their terms expired after serving for 3 years, and we appreciate their service. We'll take a motion to approve the ABC appointments, reappointments, and term expirations.
Yeah, I think, before I do that, I'd just like to really recognize Greg Gartner's service. He's been on the board for a few different terms, and he served as the president most recently of that board and has been really committed to the work there, so. With that, I will move to approve the ABC appointments, reappointments, and term expirations.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the ABC appointments, reappointments, and term expirations. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Now we have a CNET request from Center Care, and it looks like they've sent 3 representatives. So come approach the podium and give us some background about your request.
Thank you for having us this morning. We hosted in May, along with Representative Paul Takak, a senior scam seminar, which CNET was able to come to our facility and tape for rebroadcast. We want to continue that informational program for the county residents, and we are hosting on August the 14th the next series of what we'd like to inform the public about, especially those people who don't really. We need to let people know that you need to think about these things before they become a crisis situation, planning ahead. So we want to answer any questions that people may have. We will have a board, a panel of people to answer all those questions and let people know what the status of Center Care is, because we are the largest Medicaid population facility in the region, not just in Center County. And if you're gracious enough to approve it, we would like to be able to have CNET come. That way it's available for more than just the people that are in the building that day, but it's there for posterity.
Well, it sounds like a great idea, Steve. I know you have a wonderful new facility there, right next to the mall, and I'm sure
The more
you're
we show
always-
it off, the more people are impressed.
Exactly. Very good. Commissioner Concepcion, comments or questions?
Yeah, so this event would be of particular interest to people who are needing to do planning ahead for themselves or their loved ones.
It will let people know what they need to look at to prepare for those kinds of things. Also let people know where things are with Center Care, because let's be honest, there's probably 25% of the population of Center County that still thinks Center Care is Center Crest and is still in Bellefonte.
Right.
So it's an informational thing about our facility, as well as information about how to get your family ready for that situation if it comes to be.
I'm challenged about whether to approve this unless we hear from Betsy Boyer in the back row. If we heard from Betsy, I think that would push me over the edge of being able to approve this. We love Betsy, so we got to hear from you. You can't just come down and show your face. You got to talk.
I was just here to be the official.
Oh, I know.
We would, as Steve said, we really would like to get the residents of Center County informed about the skilled nursing industry and how we work through it, what we are doing, and as Steve said, so many people are in a panic crisis mode when they begin to look at care for a loved one. So the more we can do to educate and help them to understand the questions to ask and be prepared to know what exactly is entailed with this. We also have residents at our facility and family members who are asking questions about the nature of skilled nursing industry right now. It's no secret, it's being stressed to the max for multiple reasons. And so we just felt that if we could get ahead of that and be out there answering their questions and not letting them panic as more facilities close, give them reassurance and assistance.
Thank you.
That's it. You're welcome.
I think you sold it. Well, you know, I will say, one of the challenges, or there's a number of challenges in long-term care right now, but I think, you know, you bring up the notion of Medicaid and the importance of it to our community, but at the same time, what it actually costs to run a nursing facility versus the reimbursements that are provided. And I think everybody should appreciate the fact that it is not it's not a net gain for any organization that accepts Medicaid to expect that those reimbursements are going to cover each and every charge, particularly if you expect, you know, your loved one to get, you know, premium care. And that's what traditionally Center Care has done, and I think people would benefit from knowing and understanding and appreciating what that means for their loved ones and for our community, and why we need to get behind organizations like Center Care to make sure that they are financially viable well into the future, because it is such an important resource to our community. So,
Thank you for that, Commissioner Dershowitz. It's a testament to the staff and the board of Center Care that if you walked into the facility, you wouldn't know who was a Medicaid recipient and who was a private pay recipient. Everyone's treated the same there. And that's kind of the thing that we need to showcase. The more people that realize that it is not, no offense to the previous life of what it was, it's not Center Crest anymore, it's Center Care. Completely different address, et cetera. So that's
Well-
another one of the reasons for the CNET program request.
and the expansion of your services. I think a lot of folks don't even appreciate the things that you do, whether it's, you know, the expanded rehab services and do you still have dialysis up there? I mean, there's things that I would have never dreamed would be available at the old facility. So you've really done just a bang-up job of making it a stellar organization. So people should know about that. They should also know how they can help, because again, this is something that doesn't exist in a vacuum. So
Thanks for doing my job for me today, Commissioner Dershowitz. I appreciate that.
no extra charge.
Okay.
Yeah, we do appreciate your coming, and I'm sure the people at home don't realize that the state reimbursement for skilled nursing under Medicaid is $65 per day on average, less than the cost of actually providing the care.
It's a little bit
And
more than
that adds up really fast when you have upwards of 170 Medicaid beds.
Exactly right. I spent a lot of time in Harrisburg preaching that gospel.
Yes, well, I understand they're working on a budget right now.
They
so
are.
Good.
They are.
Well, we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions from the press?
See Steve or Betsy up there to answer a question from the press. Go ahead, Betsy.
Betsy's always the one you want to ask.
County's population is getting older. What's your resident population? Are you at capacity, or how's that affecting your?
We are a 240-bed facility. One of the things we want to talk about at this event is that the state and the federal government continue to raise the ratio of hours of care per resident. That limits us in what we can, how many residents we can have in the building, because we have to have enough staff to cover that. Currently, we are at 234. We're 6 residents away from being full capacity in the building, which over the last 4 years has taken us a while to get to that point because of staffing, mostly COVID, and the financial impact of COVID on all facilities like ours. As was indicated, approximately 70% of our residents at any given time are Medicaid residents. So, there is a substantial loss per day per resident on reimbursement from the state and federal government. You're welcome.
Thanks, Gary. Any other questions on the CNET request or for Center Care? No? All right, we'll take a motion then.
I'll move to approve the CNET sponsorship for Center Care's Symposium on Skilled Nursing Facilities in Pennsylvania.
I will second it.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the CNET sponsorship, do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay, motion carries. Great, thank you very much. John, do we have an administrator's report?
Nothing to report at this
All right.
time.
We'll move on to our reports and announcements, starting with voter registration from Commissioner Concepcion.
Okay, at this time in Center County, we have 101,548 total voters registered in Center County. Of those, 42,404 are Democratic, 149 Green Party, 600 Libertarian, 14,185 with no affiliation, and 41,193 Republican voters. All of the small minor parties comprise 3,017 voters, bringing us to that total of 101,548, which is down 19 from last week's report. Our party of the week this week is the Liberal Party, and our precinct of the week is Precinct 62, Miles Township East. Miles Township East has 418 registered voters, and they had a turnout of 32% at the most recent primary election. They vote at the Miles Township Fire Hall at 102 Broad Street in Reedsburg, Pennsylvania, and we'd like to thank the Fire Hall for providing the use of their facility for elections.
I think they might be having a parade there soon.
There's the Miles Township Fire Department Parade is on Thursday this week, so
And Carnival, too.
there's a carnival, yep. So, should be a good time. And Reedsburg is always a beautiful place to go visit.
Yes.
On a summer evening, so.
Yes. Great. Well, thank you, Commissioner Concepcion. Do we have any other announcements, John? No? All right. I believe we're cutting over to our new ERP system right now, so there is no check run at this point.
Correct, that's why
Yeah.
there will be one next time.
All right. Kind of noticed it was missing. Do we have any executive sessions to report?
No executive sessions to report or hold.
All right, and the remainder of our public meeting schedule, on Thursday, the 11th, we have a combined Board of Commissioners and Salary Board meeting at 10 a.m. On Tuesday, the 16th, we have the Board of Commissioners meeting at 10 and the Employee Benefits Trust meeting at 1. And then on Tuesday, the 23rd, we have a Board of Commissioners meeting at 10 and a Board of Elections meeting at 1. Do we have any questions from the press?
Is the lack of a new state budget having any impact yet on county operations?
At this point, no. The county has been managed financially very conservatively, and we have the equivalent of multiple months available in our general fund, especially because the property taxes just finished coming in a short time ago. So we're in good shape, Gary.
Just don't ask us in December how this is.
Yeah, if it's still going on into December, that's not quite as good.
Yeah, and you mentioned whenever we were talking about the correctional facility that the roof has kind of been in talks for a bit now. How
Yeah.
long have you guys kind of been looking at that?
We've been looking at it for the last, 2 years or so, Steve?
Probably.
And we've been monitoring it, and it's just reaching the point where we're starting to feel that if we don't take care of it here this summer and fall, that we could get a lot of damage over the winter. Obviously, you can't do anything with, especially a flat roof in the winter. So this is probably the time to get it done. Any other questions? Yes?
Yeah, I had a quick question about the early intervention fiscal report.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was just curious why it was expedited and why it had to be done in 9 days. Like, I imagine that's not typical.
Either Julie or John might know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the county receives notification from the state, and the state gives the county the information and then wants it turned around.
All right, got it.
That's, yeah, sometimes they ask us to do things rather quickly so that they're able to process it and then get on to the next fiscal year, because it was 22, 23. We're heading into 24, 25.
Great, good question. Any other questions? No, looks like we could take a motion to adjourn then at, well, let's make it 10:26 by the time we're done.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn at 10:26. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. Great, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.